What is good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Producer's Life. I'm your man, Big Boy Tracks, as always. I'm gonna show you guys how you can cook up a 70s soul sample from scratch without overdoing it, without having any real vocals or using any real live instruments, where you can just take a VST and create something that sounds amazing. When it comes down to creating samples, it's all about sound selection, nothing more. And of course, studying, having some reference tracks of some 70s soul records that you can kind of take inspiration from, because you're not gonna know how to do a 70s soul records without actually taking a listen to some authentic 70s souls. With that being said, I want you guys to sit back and relax. I know everybody enjoys this beat making video. Let's go. So to start this sample off, what I like to do is I like to create that atmosphere of that old school sound right off the bat. So I have this vinyl effect loaded up already on a master track. So you're gonna hear that in the background. And also, if you look right here on the screen, I got Addictive Drums 2 put up. And this is the drum preset I chose. This is called the Fairfax Volume 1. So you can hear that white noise, the little vinyl effect. Just hearing that vinyl noise as I'm creating, it really inspires me more to kind of, dig deeper also. So I like to do that first. And anytime I'm going for that 70s sound, the first thing I think of is an upright piano. And Addictive Keys is called the Modern Upright. Of course, you don't have to use this particular one. And we're gonna go ahead and lay down a chord progression and try to come up with something cool for the sample. Now this is a fairly simple chord progression that you probably heard in some 70s soul records from the 70s before. If you actually go back, there's a lot of 70s soul records that use similar bass line, similar chord progressions. It's Choosy Lover by the Isley Brothers. And then you go listen to Earth, Wind & Fire, a record called Devotion. And that's just music in general when it comes to the use of chords. Sometimes people can try to think so outside of the box and think they're creating something new, but eventually you're gonna find yourself repeating a chord progression or something close to what somebody else did. So don't beat yourself up over it. Now this next sound is a sound widely used in so many soul records in the 70s. From the Jacksons to Blue Magic, the Dramatics, Delphonics, I mean the list goes on. And that's the sitar. It's such a legendary sound. One of the first records I heard it on was Jackson 5, All I Do Is Think of You. Now there's a lot of VSTs with a nice sounding sitar in there, but the one that's in Omnisphere is absolutely beautiful sound. It's the electric sitar B that I chose, and this thing just sounds amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and utilize this instrument and try to really give it that 70s soul vibe to it. So let's go ahead and do that. Incredible. Alright guys, so now we gotta add a bass line in this track. Now I always like to use the Rickenbacker bass or the bass in Trillium. The Rickenbacker bass in particular wasn't used in 70s soul, but I like to use it because I just love the way it sounds and I feel like it sounds amazing. Of course, you can use whatever bass you like. You gotta remember, it's your art, it's your work, and I'm gonna simply just follow along with the melody of this track. Basic but fire. Hey, already, I know y'all remember a lot of them old school soul records, and you had like the dude with the bass voice, or it may be that guy in that falsetto voice, and they start talking over the track. And it's always at the beginning or towards the end, and you kind of hear the harmonizing in the background. You see, girl, I know you still love me. It be super player sounding too. So let's add in some background vocals in this track. Now, if you guys been following this channel, you know my go-to for anything to do with soul background vocals, East-West backup singers, incredible library. But today I want to go ahead and use Omnisphere. Omnisphere has some pretty decent choirs in here. Nothing as diverse as East-West. They have some decent choir sounds in here, and one in particular is the gospel ones. I'm a big fan of the old, the odds, and stuff like that. So this is a pretty decent sounding one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play those same exact chords, and just to kind of match and everything. Nothing straightforward in your face, but like I said, something very subtle sounding. So let's go and lay this down. Very subtle, but it adds a nice element of soul to it. Next, let's head over to the string section. As I mentioned before in one of my other videos, I like to do my strings in two sections, the lead strings and then the background strings. Now the background strings are gonna be somewhat tricky. I may pan them to the left or right, and I say that because let's lay down those background vocals, planning on playing the same chords for those, so I don't want those to clash. I want you to be able to say, okay, that's the background vocals and those are the background strings. But we're gonna start off with the lead strings, and for the lead strings, I'm using the XV5080 by Roland. We're gonna do a very simple lead for this track, and then we're gonna move straight on to the background string. Very subtle. Somewhat hard to hear. I got it panned to the right. Like I said, I don't want it overpowering the background vocals I laid in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and mute it so you guys can hear everything else. So for our final instrument for this track, I want to add in the electric piano, and I want to utilize the sustain pedal for this. I want that dreamy, floating away type of vibe for this track also. So as you see, I got the Stage 73V put up, and this preset is called the Great One. And I got the sustain pedal pushed in, and let's go ahead and make the magic happen. Just so you guys can hear it. So as you guys can tell, everything has been very subtle, and like I said, I want this beat to be very just smooth, and just a smooth, soft type of soul record for you guys. All right, guys, so you know what time it is. It's time to get this track arranged, and more than likely, I'm gonna pitch this track up just to kind of hear what it'll sound like if somebody were to actually sample this record. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump back into this track so you guys can check out what this finished sample is gonna sound like. Let's go. guys, so that wraps up this beat making video. I do hope you guys enjoyed that. Listening back to this sample, it sounds incredible. Obviously, I pitched it up a few semitones. I didn't want to go up too much because I didn't want it to lose that sound. It really draws my ears to that soul sample. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this beat making video, go ahead and give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and do all that good stuff. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you do. I will be coming back once again this weekend with another beat making video. And I want to thank everybody for watching and kicking it with your man Big Boy Tracks right here at Your Producer's Life. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.